Hello everybody, and welcome to Island Technologies presentation on network management and monitoring of DRETEC devices. My name is Harvey Liu, and I'm one of the network engineers at Island Technology. Together with Ashutosh Sabharwal, who is also one of the network engineers at Island Technology, we will give you an overview on how to manage and monitor DRETEC devices. I will now pass on to Ashutosh to tell you more about network management and monitoring of DRETEC devices.
Thanks, Harvey. Hello, everyone. My name is Ashutosh Sabharwal, and in today's agenda, we will have a look at different ways on how to monitor and manage DRETEC routers through Web GUI page, Smart Monitor, Vigor ACS2, different troubleshooting tools like Syslog, Wireshark, and command line interface, email and SMS alerts, and lastly, we will have a look at central management for VPNs, switches, and access points. First, we will have a look at the video produced by DRETEC that shows the 6 hidden features in the DRETEC router dashboard.
DRETEC has designed a dashboard page for Vigor routers providing information on the router status as well as shortcuts to configuration menus. This video will describe each of these features. First, we will look at the DRETEC home icon. Clicking on this icon will take you to the dretec.com homepage. This is handy if you need to look up information such as application notes or firmware downloads, etc. The next feature is the GUI map icon. Clicking on this icon will display a complete list of configuration menu pages. You can click on any of the links on this page to go directly to the required configuration menu. This will save time navigating the menus. Next, we have the web console icon. Click here to establish a telnet session with the router to bring up the command line interface, CLI. This eliminates the need to have the telnet software installed on your PC. The CLI is often used for diagnostics or to configure parameters that are not available in the GUI in the router. The configuration backup icon provides a shortcut to backing up the router configuration. It provides a quick and easy way without the need to navigate through several menus selecting the required options. For example, normally you need to navigate to System Maintenance, then the Configuration Backup menu, and select the backup option shown here. Clicking on the logout icon will log you out from the router and take you to the router login page. Placing the mouse over the port parameter will display additional information. For example, placing the mouse over the SSID image will display the Wi-Fi settings. The WAN and LAN images provide a shortcut to the configuration menu in the router. For example, clicking on WAN2 DHCP will take you directly to WAN2 DHCP configuration menu. For more information, please visit our website www.dretec.com.au or send an email to sales@dretec.com.au. Thank you for watching.
Okay, another option to monitor and manage the DRETEC router is through Smart Monitor software. This is how a Smart Monitor looks like. Smart Monitor is a software that helps to manage organization efficiency by tracking and monitor computer activities and internet usage within the organization. It allows admins to conduct the real-time monitoring and record the activities of the users like emails, online chat conversations, instant messages, and website access. It allows parents to control and monitor their children's internet access. Smart Monitor can be installed on both Linux and Windows platform. It's a free software from DRETEC and just need a Vigor router. The Smart Monitor can monitor the traffic flowing through the router LAN ports. So the Wi-Fi router, it will not monitor the Wi-Fi traffic from the built-in Wi-Fi hardware. This is a network topology using 2860 router. Smart Monitor will monitor users' activities on the internet. On the left-hand side, you can see the types of application that Smart Monitor will be able to decode, place them into categories, analyze monitored network traffic, and provide reports on that type of traffic. Setting up a Smart Monitor can be done in three ways. The first setup is through an Ethernet switch which supports port mirroring. We do not need to install two NICs in the Smart Monitor server. All we need is an Ethernet switch supporting port mirroring. Most importantly, the port mirror is able to send and receive packets at the same time. The second way to set up Smart Monitor is through a port mirroring function within the Vigor router. DRETEC routers have built-in switch capability which supports port mirroring. With the built-in port mirroring functionality, it cannot only mirror the traffic, but it can also send and receive the packets at the same time. So in the next slide, I will show you how to enable the port mirror option to mirror the traffic from different ports to a single port. This slide shows the configuration of how to mirror the traffic from LAN ports 1, 3, and 4 to port 2. Having said that, it means the traffic flowing through port 1, 3, and 4 will be mirrored to port 2 and captured through Smart Monitor, as we had Smart Monitor server connected on LAN port 2 of the router. We can also mirror the WAN traffic, but that would degrade the performance of the router. The third way to set up the Smart Monitor is through a network hub or repeater hub. Any packet entering one port on a hub will be broadcasted out on all other ports. For inserting a protocol analyzer into a network connection, a hub is an alternative to a port mirroring. To set up a Smart Monitor environment with a hub, you must connect a Smart Monitor server, Vigor router, and all the internet network nodes to a same hub as shown on the figure. Okay, here we will discuss about some of the sample repos generated through Smart Monitor. The first one we'll talk about is user top 10 report, and it can be accessed from user analysis option. This report will show the top 10 users who had maximum access to FTP, HTTP, Telnet, email, and download applications. Clicking on any of the user can get you more details as to which internet sites were visited and the amount of data downloaded. The second sample report that we will discuss is the statistic report through a pie chart showing the traffic flow by different applications along with the storage space utilized by different applications. This report shows the maximum traffic volume by users. The user with the highest network traffic volume will be on the top, followed by subsequent users, and so on. Clicking on HTTP from service analysis option will pull down the HTTP traffic report corresponding to each user with the number of times the URL visited. We can also create customized reports from Reports tab, which allows us to select different services type and export them in PDF and receive them through email. The email can be scheduled to be automatically sent every day, weekly, or monthly. There is an application note and a video on how to set up Smart Monitor. Follow the link as shown on the screen for further details. Smart Monitor can be downloaded from datec.com.au website, but there has been no further enhancement after 2015 for Windows version and 2013 for Linux version. Here we will discuss about Vigor ACS2, which is also one of the popular software for managing and monitoring the DRATEC devices. Vigor ACS2 stands for Advanced Centralized Management System for Network Administrators. Vigor ACS2 is a software which provides centralized device management for TR069 based DRATEC devices. Vigor ACS2 has device status, monitor status of devices, perform scheduling tasks such as firmware upgrade, configuration backup and restore, etc. It allows us to schedule or run real-time reports from 6 different types of reports. Vigor ACS2 utilizes the TR069 standard for communication between the ACS2 server and the CPE devices. You can have any number of DRATEC devices on the internet that can be managed by the ACS server. In the TR069 communication process, the connection between the CPE device and the ACS server is not permanent. The CPE device established the connection with the ACS only at a specific point in time, determined by the periodic interval. It usually lasts several seconds, exchanging all necessary messages between the CPE and the ACS server. This short exchange of messages is called as provisioning session. So once you are logged into the ACS portal, this is how the dashboard of the Vigor ACS2 looks like, giving you a listing of all your sites and devices, as well as the map on the right hand side showing the location of your CPE devices. This slide shows the client system requirement and minimum system requirement to run a Vigor ACS2 software. This slide shows the system requirement to set up a Vigor ACS2 server. Most importantly, if nodes are greater than equal to 5,000, it's recommended to use a Linux server than Windows one. There are 6 different types of report that we can run through the Vigor ACS2. Each report has different options and one can select them as per their business requirement. All these reports can be scheduled and received them through email, or you can have them run real time. So this is a sample report for the Vigor ACS2, and this is actually a firmware version report which will collect the current firmware version of all the devices added in the Vigor ACS2. Another real-time report is a WAN statistic report. This report shows the data transmitted and received through all WAN ports. Vigor ACS2 also has the functionality to display real-time notification of alarms such as lost connectivity of CPEs, WAN, LAN, and VPN disconnections, etc. are highlighted on the dashboard. Vigor ACS2 can also be configured to send notification of the error condition to the users through email or through SMS. Vigor ACS2 provides an easy method to configure VPN tunnels between the managed CPEs by simply drawing the lines between 2 CPEs, and the configuration for setting up the VPN tunnel will be applied to both of them immediately. There are also selectable options to choose from the type and the encryption method for the VPN. So for more information about Vigor ACS Windows installation, like CPE configuration, VPN configuration, or how to create reports, please check the links shown on the screen. Now I'll pass over to Harvey, who will tell you about different troubleshooting tools to manage and monitor your DRATEC devices.
Thanks, Ashutosh. One more note about SCS2 is if you want to have a trial version, just send us an email at support@dratec.com.au and we will gladly give you a 30-day trial account with full admin rights so that you can play around and see how it works. Okay. Now, troubleshooting is one of the ways to diagnose the source of the problem and fix it. Issues with internet connection, VoIP calls, VPN router reboot, etc. can be analyzed and fixed through troubleshooting tools. We can diagnose several different issues with different troubleshooting tools like Wireshark, Syslogs, CLI, the command line interface. Wireshark, formerly known as Ethereal, is a sniffing and packet analyzing tool that captures different types of packets going through the network. It details each packet and can read all OSI layers separately, hence making the troubleshooting very effective. The way it works is that it monitors the network interface card and then captures the traffic passing through it. It can be helpful in capturing media traffic like VoIP calls, ARP requests, and many other layer 2 protocols. Here is an example to see the ARP packet captured through Wireshark and sent by the source machine, that is 192.168.100.21, to destination machine 192.168.100.1. Please check the application notes on how to capture the packets from LAN and WAN ports using Wireshark. Syslog is a logging messaging system which helps us to collect and monitor relevant information produced by the application. Such information often needs to be analyzed and correlated to determine how the system is behaving. Also, it provides useful information for troubleshooting. There are several ways to collect Syslog. The first one we will talk about is Syslog Explorer. Syslog Explorer provides a quick way to review and download Syslog. Second is saving logs to USB disk. Saving files to USB disk will include more detailed information and allows router to save more logs. For some models, it doesn't support Syslog Explorer or USB application. We can use a third way, that is Syslog tool, to collect the Syslog. The last way to collect the Syslog is through command line interface. With CLI, we can telnet to the router and grab Syslog, debug logs, and VoIP logs. We have a video available on how to set up the Syslog and application nodes on telnet commands. Here we will talk about temperature monitoring and its features. DRATEC introduced a feature where we can monitor the temperature of the room, as it may adversely affect the working of the router if temperature of the rooms get higher. To overcome this situation, we can monitor the temperature of the room using a USB temperature sensor as shown on the screen. We can also get the temperature alerts through email or SMS if it crosses the threshold defined in temperature sensor setting. Picture 1 shows the setting for temperature sensor, which is set at 25 degrees as upper limit and 18 degrees as lower limit. Picture 2 shows the Syslog alert sent by router as the current temperature has crossed the upper threshold. With outdoor access point HM920R built-in sensor, we can now monitor the humidity as well as the temperature. Temperature sensor setup supports the model shown on the screen. Please follow the URL on how to set up the temperature sensor. We can receive the alerts generated by the Vigor router through email and SMS. These are the events which we can get a notification through email or SMS from different categories. In order to enable these features, we need to configure the related settings in the router. We will not cover much about how to configure it, as we have the application notes readily available as shown on the next slide. This URL has all the information one might need to set up the email and SMS alerts. DRATEC has introduced a new feature where we can centrally manage and configure VPN, switches, and access points through router. This option is available in double or multi-WAN routers. We will have a brief overview session of all of them, but if you need a complete understanding, please feel free to check the link shown in incoming slides. This is where we can find the central management option in the router. First, we will discuss about central VPN management and how easy it is in establishing VPNs. We have Vigor 2860 router shown on the left of the diagram that will provide the central VPN service to set up VPN tunnels to various routers shown on the right-hand side. Using CVM, it just takes a few clicks and the routers will self-configure the VPN tunnel, thus taking the frustration out of the configuration process. Central VPN management communicates with CPE devices via TR069. In order to establish a VPN connection through CVM, there are 3 steps required. First, configure the CVM router. Second, configure CPE router. And thirdly, establish VPN connection. CVM has additional features, which includes the display of CPE devices in Google Maps, backup, restore the configuration, and firmware upgrades. To understand how to configure VPN between various routers, please follow the links shown on the screen. The next topic we will discuss is central switch management. Central switch management allows us to centrally configure and manage DRATEC switches through the router as shown on the screen. Some of the features that makes CSM attractive are easy deployment of switches, which includes first general setup, where we need to enter the switch name and password to be recognized by the router. Secondly, VLAN setup, where we can configure VLANs. And thirdly, port setup, where we can name a particular port to recognize the connected client. Port setup also allows us to turn on and off ports, or we can schedule them to do so. The speed up is the process of copying the existing configuration from another switch, auto-detect uplink and downlinks. Status in switch management gives you all the switches information such as IP address, model, system uptime, port in use, clients connected, and firmware versions. With a graphical topology report, you can get to know about the uplink and downlink, ports in use, available, and shut down. When click on a particular port, it gives you the description of the device connected to that port, such as port number, IP address, and MAC address of the device connected to that port. With CSM, we can perform some of the maintenance activities like config backup, config restore, remote reboot, and factory reset. Under existing device, you will see all the existing switches and on the right hand side, you will see the selected device on which a particular action will be performed. The central management switch support list will give the supported bigger switches with the firmware versions. The status V means verified by DRETEC. To learn more about central switch management, please check the link shown on the screen. There are 2 YouTube videos on the subject also. The last topic we will discuss is central access point management. For a large Wi-Fi deployment as shown on the screen, it might look like a cumbersome task to manage all the APs, but with the help of central AP management, which is a built-in feature in DRETEC routers, one can easily manage all the APs with no additional hardware license. It reduces administrative work time, it's easy to manage, and it increases the efficiency of the work. Central access point management provides various features to manage a number of access points through the router, such as config, backup and restore, firmware upgrades, traffic status report, reboots, auto-provisioning, etc. To know more about the features and configuration, please access the link shown on the screen. Today we have given you a brief overview on dashboard shortcuts, smart monitor, Vigor ACS2, troubleshooting tools, email and SMS alerts, and DRETEC central management for VPN, switches, and APS.
Thanks for watching. For more information, please visit our website www.dretec.com.au, or you can email us on sales@dretec.com.au.